Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
All right, welcome here, Gamertag Radio, brand new episode. And I have a couple special guests here. Yeah, so we're gonna start with my brother,
Nano
in the house. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Introduce yourself, man. There's gonna be people probably that just
you've
found out
already
about
heard me. Past couple episodes. If you know me from the beginning of the show, one of the originals. Back to have a friendly debate.
There you go, man. Shout out to Nano, man. So we also have a special guest here. Introduce yourself, man.
Yo, what up? Yeah, I haven't been on Gamertag Radio in a very long time, man.
Very long time, but yes.
This is Bam Beatz.
Bam Beatz in the house.
Back in after a very long hiatus. Checking you guys out.
Originator of the Gamertag.
Yeah, man. And man, what you've been doing since you retired from creating podcasts back in the days?
I've been doing a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking. That's all you've been doing for all these years.
A lot of drinking.
For 13 years.
And making, just making beats, man.
That's good. That's
Stuff
good.
like that.
That's good. So you want to mention your SoundCloud, or I don't know if you have
yeah, I guess just go to @BamBeatz with a Z. SoundCloud, Twitter,
and
all that, IG.
We have a couple of hip hoppers too. So I know you've been working on a couple of projects. Mm-hmm. If people want to listen to it on Spotify or iTunes Music.
Yeah, you can check me out. I did a track with Bodega Bams on his previous album about a year ago. It came out, Poppy.
Okay.
Song called Praying. You can Google that. They shot a video to that. And then I did another song with Bodega Bams for his EP he dropped a couple months ago called Ice Cream. So you can check that out.
All
Stream
right.
it. Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify. It's on all that.
Google Music, all that.
All that.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we have a brand new segment. You know, every few weeks I come up with something new. And we've been talking about this for a while. I want us to do a battle of the games. So it could be anything about video games. It could be consoles, games, whatever. So I think to start off, we should do a debate. Which game is better? Final Fantasy 3 or 6, how people will call it. I call it 3. Versus Final Fantasy 7. So
we're pretty much going to start off with like one of the greatest franchise games ever.
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 Let's not pick those two games. I want us to throw out your favorite Final Fantasy.
Favorite?
Yeah, because honestly, those two are one of your I'm looking at two people that they're gonna pick one of the two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in another Final Fantasy that I personally think rivals those.
Okay, so which one?
That's the thing. I play all the Final Fantasies.
I know
you guys are a little biased.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm extremely biased. I say that's
I'm not. I'm open.
I'm gonna throw out there Final Fantasy. You could throw in Final Fantasy 9.
That's a good choice.
I mean, I was just talking to Godfrey about it, that it's the most slept on Final Fantasy.
And although I know you hate it, I recently replayed it not that long ago. Final Fantasy 8. I'm just throwing it out there. 8 was a good game.
If you go back and play now, it probably is.
Probably is, but you know what it is?
Probably
All right. You know why I don't like it that much? I think like 7 was like pretty up there, and then you go to 8 and you're like, it's not better than 7. So that's why because of that I stopped.
But to me, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, so I stopped playing
back in 1999.
Yeah. But I will say this. I like hard games. I don't like these easy. I feel like Final Fantasy VII, which was I think one of the greatest stories ever for the Final Fantasy series. But I feel like the game was way too easy, though.
8?
8. No, 7. 8.
8 was hard.
I played 8 and I stopped.
Yeah, no, I stopped on the third disc.
Yeah, but let's be real. Final Fantasy 3, in my opinion, was one of the hardest Final Fantasy. Harder than 2. 2 was tough.
I think 3's difficulty was one of the toughest.
One of the toughest. And it was the first Final Fantasy game.
Wait, are we sticking with 3? Are we saying 3? Because in America it was 6, right?
Well, I'm sticking.
I call it by 6.
I call it 3 because that's what I played when I was a kid. It wasn't, let me import it to Final Fantasy 6. Like, people hardcore fans will know it as 6. But there's a lot of people that see Final Fantasy 3 as Final Fantasy 3 because it came out from the Nintendo.
A lot
Super
of people
Nintendo.
only played that game when it came out in the anthology pack.
Yeah.
That too.
When it was re-released on PlayStation.
Yeah.
But when they re-released it on the PlayStation, it was called 6.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
why-
That's
That's
why.
another reason why people call it 6.
I've never played that. I played the original, which was 3.
Which I get it. I get
And
that.
there's a reason
Oh,
why.
and you know what? I'm gonna
What?
throw in another Final Fantasy game, which is one of my favorite tactics.
I was about to say that right now.
That's a good
Tactics.
one. That's
I'm
a good
gonna
one.
throw that in there because
It was tough
hands
too.
down, Tactics is one of my favorite
Yeah.
Final Fantasies.
Dude, I got
I
stu-
agree.
I
Look,
got stuck in that game. Like,
I
couldn't play
agree
it.
that it was a really good game. I have to agree. And it was tough. It was
Yeah.
really hard.
Tough.
That's
Really hard.
that's one of the hardest.
Clean. Keep it clean.
That's one of the hardest Final Fantasies that I've ever played.
No, it is really hard.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was like in the middle of it and I got stuck because I saved it for a boss and I wasn't nowhere near as strong.
You know what? You
to
know what
play.
screwed me up?
So I was stuck. I had to like turn it off.
In Tactics,
erase it.
Yeah.
you had to be careful on how you leveled or how you progressed your characters. Because there was classes that you would level up. You'd have to choose what
Yeah.
to learn, what class you wanted the characters to be. And if you went wrong and you chose the wrong classes for your characters, you get to a certain point in the game where you messed up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you have to
That's probably what happened
restart
to me.
completely.
That's
I
exactly
agree.
what happened to me.
I agree. So we're gonna go. So I'm gonna back 3 all the
Okay.
way. You're 7, Pam.
I'm going with Final Fantasy.
And
7.
you got to pick one, either
man.
Tactics or 8 or 9.
I'm gonna use Tactics. I'm gonna use Tactics,
Tactics.
as
Okay.
my
All right.
Final Fantasy.
So we're gonna take a short break. Remember, this is how you could contact us right now.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, we're back here at Gamer Tag Radio. We're going to be talking about Final Fantasy, the series. We're going to talk about 3, 7, and Tactics. I personally think 3 is my favorite Final Fantasy game, period, because 1, the difficulty was pretty up there.
Yes, it was hard.
2, it was the first game where it kind of have like special moves similar to like a Street Fighter game. To do like special
one
powers.
one character,
One character, but still.
No,
It was pretty-
Saban. It was Saban.
No, that was
Saban, he had the plummo.
Yeah.
yeah. All his moves were like kind of Street Fighter
Yeah.
input moves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was
But-
it was groundbreaking at that time for
Yeah, but there was-
a JRPG.
There was other characters where they had like wild card type moves. Where what was the guy with the sword with the mustache? He lived in a castle where his wife died
I can't
from
remember.
the poison.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
Where like it had
Oh,
a
that was
number.
his name was
Cian.
Zar or
Cyan.
Cyan. Yeah.
Where like it had a number and you had to like time it right to do a different move.
Yeah,
that
he
you
had
wanted to do.
different like sword moves.
Yeah.
Another thing too, that it was very long. That game was extremely
long.
long. And the ending was 45 minutes long.
It wasn't 45
It
minutes.
was
long.
45
I
minutes.
think
I
it-
timed
Nah,
it. I timed
you
it many
sure?
times.
I just
Actually-
beat it on my iPhone. It was like 25 minutes long.
But it's the original. Because remember,
yeah, it's original. Final. It's
It-
Squaresoft.
I-
Well, Square Enix made it.
Square Enix. It's not Nix. Wow.
Square Enix.
Enix.
Square
Enix.
Square Enix.
Enix.
They made it.
Square Enix.
I downloaded it on my iPhone. 7 and 6. I have it on my iPhone.
Anyway, okay. So is that
Okay.
it was the first time that I got to hear kind of like voice in a game.
Oh, the opera.
The opera
opera-
part.
the
That was the
opera
first time at the Super Nintendo version. Now with the whole remaster and all that is different. But at that time in the 90s, that was something totally new. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. The soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
For a 16-bit
Yeah.
game, ahead of its time. It was really, really
Agreed.
good. Now, here's what happened. Final Fantasy, the reason why there was a jump between Final Fantasy 2 to Final Fantasy 3, which was actually 6 in Japan, was Final Fantasy 2 came out. It wasn't selling.
Yeah.
So Nintendo and Square Enix got together to work on Super Mario RPG. When that game came out, it sold a lot. So Square Enix was like, all right, this is an opportunity for us to release a brand new Final Fantasy. Maybe we're going to get these numbers. And it wasn't. It wasn't the numbers up there. It was a cult classic, but like industry-wise, sales, it wasn't up there.
Wait a minute. Wait. Final Fantasy 3 was already in the United States.
No.
And then Mario RPG came out.
No. I think a Mario RPG came out before 3. You could look it up. Because Final Fantasy
sure?
2, Final Fantasy 2 came out It was
You're talking about the RPG,
for
Super Mario
the
RPG.
Yeah,
the 7 Stars or whatever it was
Yeah,
called.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I played that game in the summer of '96. I remember because I went to New York. I was there in New York for the whole summer.
but
And
Final
I
Fantasy.
had Mario RPG.
You sure Final Fantasy? Check,
Yeah.
check. But I believe the reason why Super Mario RPG was made because they wanted to push it more to the mainstream
figure it was-
because of the Mario characters.
I figure it was made. It was made because Final Fantasy 3 was such a success in America, so they wanted to apply it to Mario
Final
RPG.
Fantasy 3 was not that big, man. Not that big. But anyways, those are my
I'll get back
reasons.
to you on that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I love Final Fantasy 3, man. So
I agree because Final Fantasy 3 was probably my gateway into like JRPGs. Like I played that game and I'm just like, holy,
keep it clean.
I'll keep it clean. I'm like, oh my god, holy crap! You know, like this game is. It was on another level of adventure, story, character development. The music was awesome. The difficulty was up there. It was just so much to do inside of one cartridge. You know, like
It was a lot. It was a lot.
the game was good. It's just I don't know if I could say it's the best Final Fantasy.
And I know you, Bam. I'll say this. I know you always love 7. I love 7.
Yeah.
It's not a bad game. But here's the thing that really bothered me about 7.
Well, first let's finish about 6 though. Like
All right.
all the pros about
Okay,
6.
okay. 6 is it was a great story. I think a lot of people slept on it because the mainstream didn't really like JRPGs at that time, man.
And look, I'm looking at
7 made it more mainstream, in my opinion. 7 made it more
Final
mainstream.
Fantasy 6 in America came out in 1994. That's why Americans wasn't ready for it.
Well, it wasn't. Now, what year?
Mario
Mario
RPG
Brothers?
is 1996. Pretty
Okay, so
I played it. I remember when it came out.
I know that I think. Okay, so maybe I got it backwards. I know they worked on that game, Super Mario RPG, was because they wanted to make it more mainstream JRPG. Because
Yeah, March 9th, 1996.
okay, so you got it right. There you go.
I remember, man, when it came out, I was playing the whole summer.
So anything else about 3? The controls.
No,
dude. The controls, man. Super Nintendo.
No,
control.
what I
I'll
said.
tell you right now, Final Fantasy 3 has my favorite cast of characters.
Yes, and spoiler, but there's a part where you lose everybody in this game, and you have to start from
Yeah,
scratch.
yeah. That
was very powerful,
if
man.
there was
It was.
one of two ways it could have gone because you could either get everybody back, or if you didn't do the specific task
Oh yes,
the ninja guy's gone.
of waiting
Yeah.
for what was his name, Shadow, I think.
Shadow, yeah, Shadow. The
If
nin-
you didn't wait for that character, you lost him for the second half of the game. Like he never came back. So a lot of people never got.
I never.
use him. The original time you played it, you didn't have him, right? Like
No,
the second half.
no.
He was gone forever.
It was
It's
gone.
not forever. I think he died when you're in the sky before Capcom
Yeah.
gets all the powers.
And yo, the boss battles. Let's be real, it was tough.
That's one thing I do like about 7 better. The boss battle was
What,
was a lot
7
tough.
was
No, I mean
bet-
3. I'm sorry.
3?
That's what I like about 3 better. It was actually hard as it was really hard. Dude.
It was tough, man. It was tough. Anything
Yeah.
else?
What I say about 3 that's better is that for its system, it has better graphics for its system. Like if you look at
Yes.
7, there's other
well,
Final
I read
Fantasies that look
somewhere
better.
that 7 was originally made for another console.
I don't know where you read that at.
I don't know. I may have been like digging way too deep into the net.
That's very deep.
I heard-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think originally what I read was it was an original 64 title, but that was when PlayStation and Nintendo were kind of in cahoots until the
Yeah.
whole fallout with the joint console.
Okay, they were working. Yeah, they were
Yeah, they
working,
were working on a
that.
console together.
Yeah.
So I think Final Fantasy 7 was supposed to be originally on the
that.
64. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense. Isn't this dude who makes Final Fantasy has like ties with Nintendo? Like he was cool with Nintendo.
Yeah. That's why that was
That-
exclusive.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that Final Fantasy 7 would be on 64.
So okay, let's go with. You want to go Tactics or 7? Let's go with 7. Cause Tactics.
Tactics is
It's a totally different.
Yeah,
we'll go
it's
later.
a different genre of
Yeah.
game too. So
Yeah. So, Bam, 7.
7, that storyline is a roller coaster, man.
It's good.
It's a roller coaster.
I'll tell you what, it was good. One of the most powerful moments was in the
Spoiler alert.
When
well,
one of the
you can't really spoil a game that's 20 years old.
Hey,
yeah,
you'd be
that's true.
surprised though.
You'd be
Some
surprised.
people
There's a lot of
have
people
never
have never played it though.
Well, for those of you who haven't played it, I'm sorry, we're gonna spoil a lot of it for you right now.
Yeah. But anyways, there's one part that one of the characters dies.
Yeah.
A main character.
Main character. It was
and
very
if you were
impactful,
leveling her
like-
up, you're in
real?
trouble.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
in trouble.
No,
She
I
was
agree.
one of my favorite characters until that moment, and I'm just like, I think I remember when it happened, I didn't know how to react, and it was like the biggest shock I've ever experienced
In a game.
all
Yeah,
video
I
games.
agree.
Yeah. I had my friend Juan Bassett, and I remember the next day we were in 8th grade. And he came back to me, yo, I cried, man. I cried, baby.
A lot of people cried. A lot of people cried. But go ahead, Bam, because I'm gonna tell you the negatives.
Look, man,
but
Final
go
Fantasy VII, just the system, the gameplay with the materia, how you connect it to your armor and your weapons.
It was groundbreaking.
That to me, that's the best system in every Final Fantasy I've ever played, from Tactics to 3 to 9, 8. It was amazing, dude. It was so user friendly, and anybody could just pick that game up and master it, dude.
Music was on point.
Music was amazing.
No, it was
But
good.
again, you can kind of attribute that to just being on a better system overall. Like the PlayStation had better sound.
Of course.
you were able
Of
to you were able to add full orchestrated, music to the game.
But here's the downside of that. Two things that I had issues with Final Fantasy VII. One of them was I didn't like how Square was promoting this game like on TV ads. They will only show the cinematics video portion. But no, let's be real.
I think it was like that in Japan too. It was just
everywhere.
cinematic.
Because it looks amazing, right?
Oh, Final Fantasy VII was 97.
Yeah.
97. Yeah, I mean it looks amazing. You see it on TV, like, and then you pick it up, like it's not exactly like the TV. So in a way,
So
it was
it was somewhat
false advertising.
But that could be said about almost every video game in that era. Like they only showed the CGI.
I just hated that. I hated the way how they were promoting that game.
But I mean, that's minor. But that's minor, Godfrey. That's minor.
No, but I'm just
Okay.
bringing it
Just
up.
warming up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Another thing that I'm trying to remember the second one because now you messed me up. Now I'm trying to
I
remember.
messed you up.
Yeah, messed me up.
You were.
It was too easy.
You think the game was too easy?
Well, I found it unless you do some like Easter
There you
egg
go.
or whatever. I found it compared to 2 and 3. I found
No, 3
7
was
like
hard.
super
Okay,
easy.
One thing that I could argue for Final Fantasy in terms of difficulty.
7. You mean 7?
I mean, 7. Final Fantasy 7 in terms of difficulty.
Yes.
Was you had your main storyline, but you also had a lot of side quests
Of course,
to
man.
do,
Yeah,
and they
man.
were tough.
I'm not saying. I'm not
Ruby,
saying.
Hammer
Weapon,
weapon, Ruby weapon. Those guys were tough, dude.
Emerald was tougher than Ruby, I think.
the one in the water.
Yeah,
That's,
Emerald
he's the
Weapon
hardest
was
guy in the
crazy.
game.
But to do those missions, you had to be ready for long dungeons, long, confusing like little parts with difficult enemies, a super tough boss.
You had to breed chocobos, man, to get the right Knights of the Round Table.
Of course,
Like,
of
Final
course.
Fantasy II doesn't have
Yeah,
that.
like the first time I played the game, I didn't get Knights of the Round Table. I didn't even know that existed until
So when you found out,
I found out like years later when like you had all these strategy guides and they showed Knights of the Round Table. I'm like, yo, I've never had that summon. Where do you even get that? And just to get that summon, you had to breed chocobos, had to do a special
dude.
mating just to get the right
To
chocobo.
this day, I already
travel over
know.
there.
I know exactly what you got to do. You got to get a good and a great. Then after the good and the great, you got to get like a wonderful. Then
now
you mix that.
I do give props to Final Fantasy VII. That to me, one of the best demos when it came out for the PlayStation.
son.
they
Yo, come on. I
had
know,
an amusement
but I'm just
park.
saying. Do you remember the first time? Bam! I think it was at your
Yeah.
house. You got the PlayStation magazine. Mm-hmm. It had the demo of
it had
Final
the demo
Fantasy VII.
all the way to I think when you get out of Midgard, I think.
That was one
Was
of
it?
the
I think
most
it's Mount Midgard.
iconic demos at that time.
Godfrey, let me tell you something. Does any other Final Fantasy have a brothel? Because they had one, man. The Golden Saucer.
The golden saucer.
Women
Okay.
got saucy in there, man.
Look. I agree. I'm not saying Final Fantasy VII is a bad game. I'm not saying that. I just feel like
No, I get what you're saying.
the thing is, I feel like when it got to like too graphically and it started showing cinematics and all that in Final Fantasy, that I feel like the game got a little bit too easy, man. During the days of the 16-bit era, it was to me it was more challenging.
Which is
long.
I get
The
that, I get
games
that.
were super long,
Yeah.
but because all the cinematics and all that was going on in the game, I feel like the game, gameplay wise, the hours went down a bit because of that. They started adding too much.
Quests, it pretty much matched.
Yes, but even
but again, that wasn't those side quests weren't.
We're only in America. It's not in Japan. Japan doesn't have Hammer Weapon and Ruby Weapon.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
oh, I didn't know
They
that.
don't. Those
But
guys. Those characters are
again,
not in the game.
If you didn't, again, like I stated before, if you didn't have a strategy guide or any of that stuff, you weren't gonna know.
No,
about those
hell no.
things.
There was internet back. Well, not that many people had internet at that
Like,
time.
there's a way to beat Ruby Weapon
find
where you
out,
have
like-
to have all your characters start off the map.
Dead.
2 of your characters
Have to be dead.
when
Once
you
he puts
start
his,
that match.
Once he puts his fingers in the ground, you throw up Phoenix.
Yeah,
and revive it like that.
yeah.
It's crazy, like the way to beat that guy.
Now, let's be real. Every time you summon someone in the game,
You did it
some
too
of them
long?
was too long, man.
No, I'll tell you right now. Final Fantasy VIII had the longest summons.
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
one
It was
that
too much.
I swear it was like 2 minutes long, and I'm just like, I'd summon it, get up, go to the bathroom, make a sandwich, come back.
Now, let me ask you this: as a fan of Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
do you think that was worth to add 10-minute long videos of just every time you summon? Was that even worth?
I mean, it weren't 10 minutes.
no, I'm just exaggerating.
Knights
You know what I'm
Round
saying?
Table was like 3 minutes. It was like a 2.5.
Knights of the Round Table was a crazy summon.
But why so long? Keep it, because the thing is, look, sometimes you as a parent, you don't have time to be sitting down there. Like, you just want to play as much as you can, and then you stop, save, and you move away.
But
go away, right?
But Godfrey, it's a different time. Like, our attention span was a lot longer back then than nowadays with Instagram.
I don't
50-second videos.
I think that's not. But I even felt that way back then. I was like, "Yo, this is too long." Like,
I mean,
why
you
is
know,
this so long?
it got annoying when you're trying to level up and you throw Knights Around Table. Like, I gotta wait 2.5 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it got annoying.
Now, if you make it short, yo, dude, whatever you want to show graphics, that's fine. But when it's like too long, it's
But
like,
dude, it still doesn't compare to the summon when Sephiroth throws.
That is
where
long.
a comet comes and blows up Pluto, goes
Yeah.
right through Jupiter. That took forever.
that took forever.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Final
just to hit
Fantasy
you
7,
6,000 points.
it's too much.
I mean, like, I know this is not the game that I picked, but if I'm arguing for it, 7 had a better story. I think it had a better
Dude,
story.
it was
Of course.
It
They
was
even
more
made a
emotion.
movie.
It attached to emotion.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
the thing about Final Fantasy VI was that it was too much all over the place. Even Kefka, he doesn't really have a backstory. He's like evil for no reason.
So for you,
Sephiroth, you know what happened to Sephiroth.
so you rather
It had more plot twists. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. I'm not saying that, but do you prefer the story than content? You can when it comes to content, 3 had the content,
3 had more.
and the story wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. No, I'm not saying
It wasn't bad, but yo, it
but
had
I
the
had
content.
emotional attachment. Like I felt like I knew these people in Final Fantasy VII.
No, it's and look, even when they released the movie, what year that came out? It was like early 2000s.
05, 06.
Yeah.
But 3 had the Espers. It had when you went into the world of the Espers and you found out Terra's background.
See,
That
that's
I
what I'm
liked.
talking about,
How you
man.
put an Esper on you and you
Yeah.
learn,
And
you learn their moves and you keep their
learn
moves.
You
Yeah.
keep their moves and then
Yeah.
you change Espers.
See, that's
With that, I know I like that. But you can also Final Fantasy VII level up your materials like that. and
You had to,
just
but that's the thing. You
apply
had
it
to
somebody else.
find all the right equipment. You had to find the ultimates of everything. The ultimate weapon, the ultimate bangle, like the armband that you
Yeah.
wear. You had to find all these things just so your character could have the best, like setup. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy 3, everybody can learn everything.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you grind that game, everybody can have every single magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, anything else from 7, so we could go to tactics.
7. What else? I mean, like we said about the music. I think the music's better in Final Fantasy 7.
I agree. Music's phenomenal.
more and
in
more.
7.
I find this.
I think 7 has my favorite soundtrack out of all Final Fantasies.
Yo, but let's be real, man. That intro from 3, though, man.
But I mean, but it's just the intro, though.
Yo,
man.
no, dude. But there's moments like that in the game. I'm like, damn, this is so good.
Okay, so do you think the intro from 3 is better than,
Then
let's
7?
say that one scene, the death scene from 7?
No, come on, yo, that's more. Come on, dude. You can't really say that. Yo, that's
But we're talking about like
yo. That scene
technically,
of
like,
7 is one of the greatest scenes in gaming history. Like, it's not
all
even.
games, not even just Final Fantasy.
It's not even
all
Final
games.
Fantasy. That's
All right, but-
games that made people cry.
so then how
man.
does that not rank?
But I'm
7 higher
saying,
than 3?
to me, I'm talking about besides the story. Because look, look in a game, I think you need the whole package. It just can't be story and that's it. It can't be graphics and that's it, or the music. That's it. It has to be the whole package. It's like Nazomatic had the beats,
Had
the lyrics.
yeah,
like,
everything.
if you're a hip hop head,
Yeah.
But to me, in a game, you need the package, man.
But to me,
I'm not saying to be.
But to me, Final Fantasy VII has that.
Yeah, it has that, but like I just find it too easy. The game, I find it too easy.
mean, I get it, even-
and I find it shorter than 3.
It is
And
shorter.
this-
It is shorter. It's
way
a lot
shorter than 3.
Yeah, it is.
And the thing is, yo, 3 or 6 for those that play the import version or the remake or remaster, whatever. that game was long, man. It was difficult.
long. It was
Now, Is it more difficult than Tactics? No.
No, but I'll tell you right now, by far, Tactics is the most difficult.
It's the hardest one.
Out of those three,
to this
Tactics
day, I
is the
still
hardest.
I
beat
like
Tactics,
Tactics, but I got frustrated with playing Tactics.
Yeah.
But that's what made it good, Godfrey. Let me jump on my
All right,
segment.
go for it. Go
let's
for
go,
it.
let's go, let's
Tactics.
go.
I'm going to give you why
Let's go.
Tactics is the better of the three choices.
Okay.
Tactics, difficulty, highest of all Final Fantasies.
Yeah,
By far.
I still haven't beat that game to this day.
Is
By
I
far,
have never
the
finished that
hardest
game.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Story,
It was long.
it wasn't.
too, right?
I don't think it had the greatest story, but it had a interesting story where it would keep you at least. You
You want to know more?
Yeah, you want to learn
wanna
more.
continue.
Your
Yeah,
attention
yeah.
wasn't like super diverted.
Wait, before you go in, was it called Tactics or was it not a number game because it wasn't like a traditional?
No, it was Tactics.
Wait, you're talking about
because-
the first Tactic?
Yeah,
There was
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the
PlayStation
remaster.
1.
Oh, okay. That's
Where
what I
on the
thought.
cover is like a bunch of people on chocobos or horses, right? On the cover.
Yeah, they're on chocobos. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chocobos. What do you say? Chocobles?
Yeah.
Chocobos.
I don't know what that means.
What is that?
Chocobos, right? Is that why you
It's chocobo.
I
It's
say
chocobos.
chocobos.
No, it's chocobos, dude.
It's all old.
Dude,
There's no you.
This is
There's
me,
no you.
This is me reading at 11 years old, and I'm like thinking it says chocobos because it doesn't talk to you.
Yeah, but you're a 30-plus-year-old man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just-
Hey, it sticks on us, man. It's
Oh,
just the way it rolls.
All right.
Highest difficulty.
Yeah.
Story was moderate. I don't think it was great, but it was good enough where it kept you. You want to find out more. And
Okay.
the story developed pretty well.
Okay. Okay.
Characters. It didn't really have characters.
It didn't like stand out like compared to.
No.
No. Character wise, I think it's the lowest because you only have like a few main characters.
Okay.
Everybody else are like people you pick up. You know what I mean? And you train them, and they could be whatever you want. In regards to that, like you can train people, anybody, any soldier you get, you could turn them into a mage, into a dragoon, into a wizard, a black mage, white mage. There was more classes, and everybody was accessible to those classes. It wasn't just like Final Fantasy VII. Everybody had their own properties. You know what I mean? You had the Moogle,
Which
was
pretty much every Final Fantasy game. Like,
Everybody had their own thing. You know what I mean? Like this guy was the healer. This guy was the brawler. That guy had the guns. This guy had the swords. That's how those games went. This one, everybody had access to everything.
Everything.
You could you could start off as a squire, start off as a white mage, develop from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What else? Music, probably the weakest out of all of them.
It
It
I like
didn't
that
have anything catchy.
I don't think it had
at all.
anything.
It was just fun, but music was
But-
nah.
But
mind you, too, this game came out after Part 7, so you're so used to the music of 7.
again,
it touched
but-
home.
But we're not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it. This isn't a JRPG like a classic.
It was more like strategy,
strategy game.
A strategy
Yeah, yeah.
game, yeah.
But it's still in the world of Final Fantasy,
It
which
is.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is why I'm
you
bringing
have
it
to,
up.
you have to count that.
It is.
It's I think difficulty highest overall. I mean, character designs,
Yeah.
they were all right. I mean, like it was whatever. But I think gameplay, it offered the most challenges
Yeah.
to just to the players. You know what I mean? Like overall, like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy 3, you won't get stuck. I don't think you'll get stuck at any point. In Tactics, you hit a brick wall eventually,
I
and
like
then
it.
you'll have to restart the game.
Like I said to
and
you
build
guys,
your characters
I
correctly.
got stuck. I turned it off.
You turned it off.
I couldn't play anymore.
Exactly.
But see,
I
like
at a wrong point.
there was moments I got stuck on 3.
but
I took
you eventually passed it.
Yeah, but I because remember back then there was no like internet and I had no strategy guide at that time. I used to,
1-800 Nintendo Power
no,
Club,
no.
man.
We were, at that time I used to. Okay, so
$2.99 a minute.
So
$2.99
true
a
story.
minute.
True story. During the time that Final Fantasy 2 and 3 came out,
Yeah.
I was still living in Dominican Republic. So there was no way for me like, let me just call, the hotline to get some tips. I had no strategy guide at all.
You sure as hell didn't have internet.
There was no internet for sure.
for sure.
So I found this out everything on my own. That's why to me, Final Fantasy is so special to me because I found everything out on my own.
Okay, so let's
There
leave nostalgia.
No.
out of the equation.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about more of like
Okay, but
the
that's-
challenge. The challenge. Now, Tactics, I played it. I got really frustrated. I'm like, I think I'm stuck. There's no way for me to I've done everything. There's no way for me to pass it. Like I don't know what
Yeah,
else
because
to
the
do.
thing is, the game isn't like some open world exploration. Like you kind of just go from battle to battle.
It's like what's the name of Advanced Wars.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
that. But see, that game was challenging, but I kept on playing. Like I love strategy guys. I mean, not strategy guys. Strategy games.
Yeah, strategy-based games are cool, but like that's
Yeah.
why I'm bringing this up because it's one of my favorite games to play. To this day, I still get it. And if you bought the I think the Game Boy Advance remake of it, like they re-released it on Game Boy Advance, and I think it was called Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced, where
It was the same game.
Yeah, it was the same game. Just they added a couple more stuff. They added Cloud into the game.
But I think you could get Cloud in the PS one because I remember I had a friend who gave me the Final Fantasy.
I don't know.
booklet
I
and all that.
don't remember getting Cloud in the beginning.
Cloud,
in the first one,
he got Cloud in the PlayStation one.
but that's what I'm saying. Like they had that element, you know, like you can get this character. I think bosses were like, because there's no such thing as a boss. I think there was more like boss missions, like where you'd have to. It's a mission, you know, deep in the game where like a boss was there and you have to fight him plus all his minions. And those, they were crazy. That was the most difficult game I've ever played in the Final Fantasy world. To the point where like I'd have to restart the whole game and rebuild from step one just to build my characters correctly to get to that, you know, to be able to fight this guy. I don't know, man. Like I think, as far as graphics, they were pretty mundane.
Thanks for the curse.
Yeah, I know,
curse.
you can fix that. I think it didn't break any new, you know, new realm of like, oh my god, these graphics are groundbreaking, you know. But like, I think in terms of difficulty, story, which was moderate, character development,
I feel like this game is missing a lot from our talk for like the reasons why we love Final Fantasy.
But I think the reasons you don't like those Final Fantasies, the ones that you guys were arguing with, which were your biggest thing was difficulty.
Yes,
this game has that.
But 3 had a good story. Not better than 7, but music and everything was good. And you just have music. You don't care much about the characters. So it's like, what makes what
brings me to a game?
That's what I was going to mention. Ask you
honestly, in terms of challenges, is the game challenging?
Yes.
So
tactics, okay. Music.
So that brings me towards that game.
All right.
The more challenging a game, the more I want to play. I don't play games to be like, man, let me just sit here and listen to this music.
No, okay. What story?
Story was good. It wasn't great, but it was good enough.
Characters. Did you care about the characters?
No, I don't.
I care about the characters.
Listen, I hate Final Fantasy VIII, and I remember those characters way more than I can't. I don't. I tell you the truth, I can't remember. I don't think I remember tactics. Characters.
Yo, because 8, I don't know, man. 8,
the dude with the jacket with the fur.
I don't remember.
Collar, man. Hey,
yo, I don't remember anything about
Squall?
it.
Squall?
Yeah.
You don't even know the guy's name.
I don't know his name, but I know he had a dope jean jacket. And then in 8, what was the thing in 8 where like he fell asleep and you were like into like another world? It was like a different storyline. What? You don't remember that in 8?
I stopped playing 8, man. Like it wasn't 7.
The game will stop, and then it went to like a different world, a different storyline. Like it was totally different characters.
You know what?
And then it went back to the main guy.
I have to say this. I think Square Enix, they're
Google it.
They're in like in a really tough spot.
What? Say that again. Who's
Square Enix? They're really in a
Square Enix.
Square Enix. They're really in a tough spot because
I think they've hit a wall. Anything.
Because like if they create a classic, it's hard to continue because every game has a different story.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Why do you think they hit a brick wall? And I complain now about this all the time.
Well, I think 7 was good, 3 and 2 was good,
8 was good.
9 to me 9 was one of the most slept on Final Fantasy.
To all those amazing games that they're not.
10 was good. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like I don't know why everybody hates on 10.
I didn't like 10 that much, man. I wasn't.
It talked. It was cool.
And let's be real, Final Fantasy Online. I didn't really like that.
First of all, I think that was the last one. Game. I loved 11.
I didn't like it at all. That was like a bootleg version of Phantasy Star Online.
That was the last one I played. One in Charles' house.
Let's be real. It was
the online. I think Charles had it when
11?
Charles did. Yeah, when he lived with Mark.
It was. You know why I didn't like that game? Because
what online?
Online, the one thing that got me for it was like those are one of the first games that I started paying monthly for. Because you have to pay monthly for it.
No, you pay for monthly for Final Fantasy version 2.0. You have to pay monthly for that.
Which one?
For the Dreamcast.
Phantasy Star, you mean?
Phantasy Star Online, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
You had to, that's not the first. That was the first for you.
That game was awesome.
Yeah, but that was like a different game.
I'm saying, but it was an RPG. But he had to pay online.
Yeah, you had to pay online. It was $9, right? $8.99, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy 11 was $10 a month, $9.99 a month. I don't think it offered anything new in terms of like online RPGs, MMOs. You know what I mean? Like, it was a game that it started getting boring after a while.
What year? Because it was also you were playing with PC. You would play with PC.
You would play with PC players.
Yeah, honestly, I think. Was that the first cross-platform
that we?
that we played back then?
I don't know.
I'm
I
trying to
remember playing that game a lot with Drea. Like I would play a lot with Drea.
I know that game came out as a demo on OXM for free.
It just that game got really boring, man. Like, and it was like level progression was just too much of a grind.
Yes, it's way
And
too much. Way too much.
For me to pay $10 a month for this game that like really didn't have the community behind it, I was like, man, screw this. I'm not doing this anymore. You know what I mean? I only played it for like 7 months.
Dude,
Maybe
I can't
a little
remember.
longer, maybe a little
really,
longer.
you played for that long? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was on there for a while because the thing is, like, I wanted to be a dragoon, and that was a high level to get to. So I kept grinding and grinding every day, and it was just
Anyways,
Yeah.
what I said.
He didn't really care about the whole line thing.
I already. I was
Yeah,
already
he's
done.
like,
I was done.
I'm old
But
school.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you why Square is suffering. Because I tell this guy all the time.
What?
The reason why Final Fantasy is not as it used to be is because it's not turn based anymore. Once they stopped doing it, I feel like Final Fantasy started slowly declining.
I agree with you, but
Like
I just remember this is another reason why I like it. I like my game. There was more characters in your battles.
oh yeah, in your arsenal, like in your archive.
I feel like
BS though. Don't give me the character thing.
what? There was more characters on.
You didn't
like,
use
on
all the
screen.
characters. You didn't use all the
I'm talking about
characters.
on screen.
What do you mean?
it's all 4 because Final
Four.
Fantasy 6 has 4 players.
Yeah, 7? You only had like
Three.
3.
Yo, 3.
Yeah. I'm not saying something. Am I saying?
Oh, no,
Yeah, but like you stuck to 4 characters out of 12 the whole time.
Of course, but at least I have 4 characters. 7, you only have 3, and that's it. You're stuck with 3. There's no way, like you're
But
stuck.
there was
There's
a lot
no
of
4.
there's a lot of things in Final Fantasy 7 when you had to use somebody, so that guy was in your
Specific
team.
characters that you had to use.
Cloud was gone for a while.
Of course.
Sid had to come
Hello,
be the main guy.
Hello.
I'll tell you
on
what,
3,
no
when-
character.
on
Look,
yeah.
straight up, no character worse than Kate Sith.
Trash.
The worst character in
That
any
guy
Final
has never
Fantasy.
been in my lineup. I played the
I
game.
never remember which.
Remember
character?
the one that had the little cat on top of him,
Yeah,
the
with
big
the little
white
cat-
thing
cat.
with the
Yes,
cat?
yes, I remember.
Worst
I don't remember his
character
name.
ever in any Final
With his
Fantasy.
BS dice game as a
Okay.
That was
limit
the
breaker.
worst. Yo, when
All
you
right.
had to play
That
with
was
him, when you were
trash.
forced to
I've never
use
played
that
with that guy. Oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, when you were forced.
All right.
Yo,
That
worst
guy's never been in my lineup.
worst experience
I've been
ever
playing
had in
Final
Final
Fantasy for 20 some years, and I've always rotated, new people in my lineups. That guy's never been in my lineup.
ever.
That guy can kick rocks with his stupid dice.
Yeah, like I'll tell you right now, that was the worst character they've ever created in any Final Fantasy.
All right. What was the worst Final Fantasy game ever made?
I was gonna say the one with the volleyball. Is that 10?
10.
That's 10. That's 10.
It had like a fake volleyball game.
No, it was underwater. It was called
Underwater. That game could
Blitzball, I think.
Yo, that game could bounce, yo. That's what made me start liking.
10
Final
wasn't
Fantasy.
bad. 10 wasn't bad.
I didn't like it.
Again,
It's the
what
one
was-
that was the first game that had voice, I think.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the fo- that's what. Yeah.
What was the worst Final Fantasy game you ever played?
I'm gonna go with 15, man.
The latest
The
one?
latest one.
My stepson loves that.
You know
game.
what I think? I think it was
You know
cool.
what?
It was cool. Like
I'm gonna say 15, man. That's my
I
least
didn't
favorite
like
Final
50. I played 15 a lot, and
Did you even beat it?
no, I
My-
didn't
my
because I
stepson
didn't
beat
really.
it.
I didn't
Thought it was
really.
good.
I got
didn't
6
really
hours
care.
into the game and I said, "The hell with this."
I didn't really care about the
I
characters.
returned it right away.
And you know what? I even watched the movie because I was like, "Yo, I'm pumped. I think this
Yeah.
could be the one for Square Enix."
Nope.
Nah, man, I really didn't care much about that game, man. I know a lot of people liked it. I'm like whatever about it, man. I
Dog,
just didn't really
spent more
care about the
time
characters.
driving around and cooking than I did playing the game.
Wow.
That's garbage.
Yeah.
That game was garbage.
Yeah, I didn't like that game.
It's just
You-
thing is like. I mean, my stepson, he played, he beat it, but I'm watching him play. I'm like, yo, this is not final. What is this, dude?
But see, but
This is
bam,
not
the problem
Final
with you,
Fantasy, dude.
you would not like a game if it's not 7. If it's not 7
no, because
material,
we just
you
broke
would
it
not.
down. I love Part 6, man. I
No,
love Final
but,
Fantasy 9.
But I've like
It's just-
9, like 9
it's
to me
turn-based, dude. That's
is
what
one
it
of the
is.
most slept on.
yeah,
Final
no,
Fantasy
it's the
games.
most slept on.
The most slept on.
I think so,
because I
too.
think when it came out, it was already the time where people were either stay with PS1 or
Yeah, transitioning
transition to PS2.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
That's the reason people just moved on. Moved on. So when 10 came out,
I think they
10
should
blew
have.
up because everybody had a PlayStation.
They should have
2.
held
Yeah,
on to
everyone
9. They
plays
should have
it.
held on to 9 and released it on the PS2.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, they should have held on to
that
it.
story. It was good. It
was good.
It was a good game.
It was
man.
the little mage guy with the hat.
Yeah, it was
And
dope. It was
and then
dope.
with the knight.
And that was the closest game that I felt like
because
Final Fantasy 3.
it was turn-based, man. It was like
Turn-based.
traditional style.
Yeah.
And they changed it after Part 10.
Yeah, but I think
Part 10 was turn based. What are you talking about?
No, but it was like free-for-all, though. It's like how
what do
Final
you-
Fantasy 15 is. It's like
You talking about open world?
No, you couldn't.
No.
You talking about what were you talking
Part
about?
10 is not like Final Fantasy 7 where it's
It's turn-based. Your turn.
It
their
is
turn. Your
turn-based.
turn.
Yeah,
their turn.
it's turn-based.
Yeah, it
Is
is.
it turn-based?
Yes.
I'm telling you.
I don't know what you're
so.
talking about, dude.
I think
No,
I
I think you're
owned
wrong.
The game. I had the game. Yes.
I think you're wrong, dude.
there was something different about it. I remember something different about it.
This
There
guy,
was something
bro.
different
Yo,
about it.
you know
dude.
what?
Yeah.
This is also the same guy that complained about
What?
Final Fantasy. What was it called? 10-2 with all the whole women cast.
Yo, that was
Which was a good game.
Did I complain about that?
no. But
That's
that was
good
a
Final Fantasy
stupid. That
game.
was a stupid name though. 10-2.
10-2? Yeah, I mean X2 was stupid, but it was a good
dumb.
game. Regardless, it was a good
What
Final
is this
Fantasy
fake
game.
outrage of me hating on women? A whole
I'm not saying
No.
you hate women, but,
No. What I'm saying is, to me, that game was like whatever. Like I didn't really care about 10. Don't care about
It can't be.
10-2.
You got to Google it. Final Fantasy 9 was the last turn-based Final Fantasy. That was traditional
No, it
Final
wasn't.
Fantasy.
No way. Google it. You have a phone in front of you.
I got it.
All right,
I'm
well,
telling you.
anything-
I played 10. There was something. There's something different about it, dude.
all right,
I think
well,
it was.
look,
I think it's.
You know what
like,
it was? Yo, he hates Yuna. He hates the girl character and all the
Dude,
focus they had
I
on
don't
her.
remember.
Yo, but
who the hell
there's characters in 7 that stood out more. Nano, that stood out more than her.
Maybe. I mean, again, you're talking about different years. 1997 versus what? 10 came out in 2000.
2000, early
2001.
2000s, 2000, early 2000s, early 2000s.
I remember I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, it's different times, man. Like, people listening right now, you have listeners that are more or less our age,
Or younger,
or very younger.
very young.
You know, listeners between 18 20 years old
Yeah.
that don't know anything we're talking about.
No, they don't. But
So
it's
their first Final Fantasy was probably 10,
15 or 15.
10, 11, or 15.
Oh, 15. Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
we're out here just crapping on their favorite games.
No, but look. I think, but look, if you're a fan of games, I think it's good to go back and learn the history about your favorite series. Like Mario, for example. Dude, there was so many different Marios, but there's people that still know about the first Mario. You know what I'm saying? The Mario 3,
I know what
Mario
it is.
2.
They
What?
changed the ATB system on the X. It's still turn-based, but the ATB is different. It's not like traditional Final Fantasy 8, 7, and 9.
He did some research. He went on
Yeah, I
his
know.
phone.
This guy's jumping on a forum right now.
I told you there was something different about it, though. I remember
but
playing
I
it like, yo,
remember
this is not the
10
same.
What 10 had was the I think they implemented the skill tree where you would have to level up. You know, like in in all these games that they do it now, they have skill trees where you'd have to power up and like branch out to different. You know, if you want more attack power, you'd have to branch out to this one or defense power. This like that game introduced that, and it was just a little confusing. It wasn't. I think Bam went from Final Fantasy 7 to 9.
What do you mean?
Like you didn't. I don't think you really played 8 that much.
No, I went up to the 3rd disc, dude, and I lost interest. I ended up selling the game to Sean. I sold it to him.
Okay. No, there's a lot of people like, who's Sean? Who's
Sean's
that?
a family friend.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, I played up to the 3rd disc, and I'm like,
You know
yo,
what's
man, I
funny?
can't
I'll
do
give
it.
you a
I can't
funny
do
story on 8, which I love the game. I at first I didn't like it. I replayed it. I'm like, oh, this game's not that bad. But here's the funny thing about 8. The first time around when I played it, because this is back in the modding days, so I modded my PlayStation 1, and I used to burn games all the time.
Okay, bootlegger.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sue me. I used to bootleg all the games, download them, bootleg them, whatever. And I remember I had Final Fantasy on bootleg. Like I had copied it.
Okay, I had the original copy, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I went to
Square.
Best Buy.
I
I went to
purchased the
Best Buy
game.
on 88 and bought Final Fantasy.
not me.
that
baby.
that demo changed my life. I bought that game.
I copied that game all the way. So
Okay.
I remember playing it. I get up to disc 3. Now, the disc that I used to burn disc 3, I knew it was a little messed up. I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll still work.
A little scratch.
It was a little scratched. When I got to the ending, after I beat the final boss,
No, but it was a 4-disc game.
oh, my bad, 4, whatever the final disc was.
Yeah.
I got to the final boss. I beat it 5 minutes into the final, like the ending of the game.
Yeah.
It froze on me. And I
Damn.
said, you know what?
I have a memory about that, about a game like that.
Yeah, I
I'll
was
tell
like, you
right
know
now.
what? I don't
Yeah.
even care. I just turned it off. I'm like, I don't care about the ending. That's how much I disliked the game at first.
But you know what? I think if we go back and look at 8, I think we're gonna be like, yeah, this game's pretty good. Because I
Eight's good.
like
Eight's
because I
not a
like
bad
that
game.
card system. The game that you go to your like colleges or schools in the game, and you'll play cards against people.
yeah, because you were in
You were like in a college or
yeah,
somewhere.
Squall was in like he was training to be a soldier.
Yeah,
so like
somewhere in the
yeah,
school.
that's where the story was.
I think 9 was better than 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Man, I downloaded 9 2 weeks ago on my PlayStation. I'm gonna replay it.
If you have a chance to replay that game, replay it.
I'm doing that now.
And I guarantee you'll like it way more now than you did back then. You'll appreciate it a lot more now.
Yeah, 8. You probably feel like that way.
I'll try because
But I downloaded 9. I'm gonna go back.
I think 8 came out.
And I'll
at a
say the
time.
same thing for 10. I'm going to fight for 10 because you guys are hating on it way too much.
Oh,
Replay 10 right now, and I guarantee you'll like it way more.
I don't think so. It's different, man.
All right, so let me ask you this before we wrap it up. What was your first Final Fantasy game that you ever played? I played one, and I really didn't care about one, to tell you the truth. It was on
dude,
Nintendo.
it's on the Nintendo Classic, and it's dog-ish.
It didn't
Bad.
really.
You can't. There's no
I
replay.
played it. I got far. I'm like, then we kept. 2 was the first. Like, wow. This
You want me
is
to tell you the
pretty
first
dope.
game?
Final
I played?
Fantasy 2 was my first
I think
one.
3 was my first game.
Yeah.
First and 2? Wow.
Yeah, because I remember the commercials on TV. With
I don't remember the
I never-
commercials.
I never
'Cause I
played
lived in
two.
the Dominican
I never
Republic at
played
that time.
No, I remember the commercials, and I was like, "Damn, I gotta play this game."
Wait a
And
minute.
that was probably the first game I played.
But-
First Final Fantasy.
Okay.
But 2 here is it's not 2 in Japan.
Yo,
wait, 4,
let's
right?
go based on United States, please. Like that's what I played.
I just wanna know,
I didn't
what-
play import.
what
I
is
didn't play.
2 what's
No,
2
what
in
was the game on
America?
the because the first Final Fantasies were on Game Boy, right?
No,
it was on the
No.
NES.
I
Was it on
played
NES?
and I played the Game Boy version too. But my first one
was on the
NES.
Yeah, it's on the Nintendo Classic. That
Yo.
game's dog crap.
No, so
Dog.
like, the first one I played was the NES. Not NES. I mean Game Boy. I remember that. So
The
I don't
Game
know
Boy,
which one it was.
I know there was a Game Boy. Oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of it. You should look it up, man.
No, the Game Boy one. I don't think it's a number. I think they made it just one.
Like a Final Fantasy
Yeah.
something, but like for the
Yeah, it wasn't a
original
number.
Game Boy, yeah.
Let me see what 2 is.
I'm telling you,
in America.
I'm telling you, before we wrap it up, Final Fantasy at that time wasn't mainstream at all. 3, to me, it was one of my favorite Final Fantasy. It still wasn't mainstream. It was because of
Yeah.
Mario,
Give
Super Mario
everybody-
RPG.
I say everybody
So
give your
it's
closing
really,
argument.
Final Fantasy
And
2 is
7.
really Final Fantasy 4. In
With the
America.
what? Excuse me?
Final Fantasy 2 here is Final Fantasy 4. So we've never played Final Fantasy 5 here in America.
We skipped one. I
It
know
went,
that.
it went from 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Why did they
give
do
your
that?
closing arguments on your choice.
All I'm
Let
saying,
the listeners
the
decide.
listeners, look. It was longer.
3.
was-
You're talking about what are you talking about?
3. Final Fantasy 3.
3/6, whatever.
Whatever. It was long. Story was good. Character was good. Music was fantastic. Difficulty was up there, but it wasn't frustrating.
Yeah, it wasn't frustrating.
And there's a part in the game that you lose all your teams, like your companions, everybody. Like everybody goes to different parts of the world, and it's like, damn, I have to start from scratch. Like I love that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like I really, really love Final Fantasy 3.
It felt like a new game started.
Yes. It was like a new game plus. It's like, I know Paris mentioned this before. It's like Link to the Past. You finish the whole game and then you have to start over again in the game. Like that's how I felt with Final Fantasy 3. It was a dope game. First time I hear kind of like a voice on a 16-bit system. Like that game came out on a system that it wasn't as powerful as the PlayStation or the current systems, but it stood out for a 16-bit system. It stood out.
But like what I said before, if you look at Final Fantasy 3, it looks more amazing for its system than 7 does.
Yes.
That's what I like about
I mean,
Final Fantasy
now when they do remaster and remix, whatever, yes, it doesn't stands out like compared to. It's not like 7 or all these other games because remember the technology back then it was different. You know what I'm saying? So I stick with Final Fantasy 3 all the way, man. I will defend that game all the way, man.
Bam.
Final Fantasy 7, man, is just the gameplay, the system with the whole summons and the materia on bottles for your weapons. And
You mean
armor.
battles, not bottles.
They're little. Yeah. Just saying that
We've been drinking.
with
We've
the
been drinking.
music and and just the emotional attachment you have with the characters. You didn't get that in part 3.
Okay.
There's no emotion. I didn't feel any sorrow about this guy with the 2 brothers with the flip of the coin. It didn't hit me in my heart. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And then, like I said, with the music of Final Fantasy 7, and then to me, I felt like it was just a better game than 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you right now the only reason that you need to know about tactics. Difficulty. If you like a challenge, tactics was your game.
It is hard.
It's challenging.
I gotta give it to
the
him.
moves were
It's
dope.
hard.
Let me see if it's nice.
You the graphics were decent.
That was good. I think it was
for
better
the game that it was good. Character progression was there. Development, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, you didn't fall in love with it because they had such. You could pick up anybody and develop them into anything, but you had that ability to control your team, your squad.
Yeah.
You could develop them the way you wanted. It wasn't some game where like this character and this character were two separate, classes, and that's what it was. That's all you had. You had one guy that could do fire attacks, one guy that could do sword attacks. In this game, everybody could do everything. You build the team that you want. I think that alone was more than enough reason for this to be one of the better Final Fantasy games.
But you could do the same thing with 3.
No, you couldn't.
But it's still a different
No,
game.
but I'm saying it is a different game. But I'm
Tactics,
saying
bro.
like I could still pick the team that I want. 4 characters in one screen.
Yo, Godfrey, I don't need all. I only need one friend, baby. I don't need all of you.
Yeah.
And on top of that, tactics, you had a bigger team. You were able to pick larger characters. Larger team.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think difficulty plays a major part in my choice. Like, tactics was way more difficult than any other games.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna wrap it up here.
Wait, giving you a heads up, if you want to get Tactics on your iPhone, it's $13.99.
$13.99.
And you can download Final Fantasy 7 on your
And
iPhone as
6.
well.
And 6.
You can download I think,
And
1 through 9.
Heads up, just letting you know,
But
those games are coming on the Switch.
you know what?
You serious?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know
Final
what?
Fantasy 7 is getting released on
This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do.
I gotta play that shit.
Yeah, you gotta buy it again.
So this is what I'm gonna do.
Play it again.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give 8 another chance. 8's coming out too for the Switch. All right, I'm gonna give 8
Buy
another
that game
chance.
again.
I think, I'm gonna have to give that game a chance.
I played 7 so many times that I really don't need to download. But
You're gonna download it anyways.
are they gonna release Tactics on the Switch?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that.
Didn't hear anything about that. But if they do, I'll
buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it.
Because I want my kids to play it.
Yeah, because I'll try it out. I'll try it out because I stopped playing it a long time ago.
But as far as I know, 7 and 8 are getting re-releases on the Switch.
6 too.
6
Or
as well?
3, whatever you want to call
Whatever
it.
you want to call it. But like, I think those games are
It's not
for
the
sure
same.
are going to get
I
re-released.
think it's better at 6.
But it's the added the cinematic
I think you like it
stuff.
as 3s because it's like 3. It sounds like
If
it's an
you
earlier
look,
number.
I have the Super Nintendo Classic. It's the original Final Fantasy 3 game.
Hey,
I don't need all the special graphics.
I'm going to throw it out there. I know we argued Final Fantasy today,
Yeah.
but overall, what's your favorite Square Enix game? Even before Enix, the Square Enix merger, what was your favorite Square or Square Enix RPG?
RPG. Damn, they have a lot.
Don't even answer that.
We'll save it for another show.
Next time.
Yeah, we'll save it for another show. All right. Anything?
wait, I want to give a shout out to
Yeah.
Godfrey when he used to leave his Final Fantasy 3 in his book bag, and I took it.
He took it. He
and
stole
then
it from me.
that's how I got introduced to Final Fantasy, and I want to thank you for that.
So you
I
stole
want
it
to thank
from
you
me.
for slipping, for leaving your book
Thief.
bag in my house. One
So
day.
you actually stole it from my bag.
But I told you I took it though, and you're like,
Now? That's like 20 years ago.
no, because he was like, "Dog, where's my Final Fantasy?" He used to carry it.
I should carry. That's how much I love that game.
Yeah,
I should carry that.
I borrowed
everywhere.
it for the whole summer of '97.
But was that before
Borrowed?
64? You stole it. It was
Yeah,
not
you stole
borrowed.
it for the entire
Look,
summer.
it's 1997. Like Final Fantasy 7's coming out, so you actually was like, "Here, take it." I took it like in '96 or '95.
So you had it for a year?
I took it, but he eventually took it back.
I took it back.
Yeah,
I
he
took
took it back. Like how remember the time he lent me his GameCube and I was playing the Zelda game, the Toon Zelda,
Oh,
the Toon Link.
Yeah.
Oh, Wind Waker,
Dude,
Wind Waker.
that Zelda was
Wind Waker.
amazing, dude. Until this
was
guy's like, "Dog, I need my
Hey, you know
GameCube
what?
back, dog."
Yeah.
I don't want to throw it out. What's the best Zelda game?
No, save it. Save it for the next time.
What's the best Zelda game?
We gotta talk, but not now. We gotta talk about that. And this is another
So that's
topic.
gonna be the next one for next week.
Well,
We'll keep it up there.
All right. So head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. Send us your feedback. Fanmail, gamertagradio.com. Do you agree with us?
You think we're
Disagree?
just full of it?
Call us or send a message, speakpipe.com/gamertagradio. Let me finish this, Bam.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Or just let us know. Go to discord.gg/GTR. That's discord.gg/GTR. Look, you could contact us everywhere. Twitter, Facebook. Just let us know. And Bam, what are you gonna say before I wrap it up?
I was gonna say once you put a Twitter poll,
Yeah.
which Final Fantasy is better, 6, 7, or Tactics?
What it? No. You know
see.
what?
We'll see what-
That
the
or
fans will
what it?
determine.
If you disagree, maybe some people like 8, 9, or
Okay.
or
Which is
other
fine.
games.
You can
Let us
retweet
know.
Godfrey.
Huh?
I'm saying you can retweet. You're like, nah, both
Yeah.
of you guys are idiots.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely add you guys if somebody.
I'll tell you right now, if you mention any other Final Fantasy other than Final Fantasy 3/6, 7, 8, 9,
9 is good.
I'll give you 10.
Yeah, it's good.
9 is good.
If you mention any other Final Fantasy than those, get out of there. Like,
what
don't even give me that
happened if they say 15? There's people that maybe that game maybe changed
Hey,
their lives.
I get it, but you
as
know
a
what?
gamer.
I don't respect that person.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, my stepson loves 15, man. He
Look,
beat
man.
He likes 7 because he beat it.
You know what? I'm not ashamed to say that I'll fight a 9-year-old. So
Wow.
12-year-old.
12. Oh well, he could probably
I think
take me.
now
He
you
could
might
probably
go with
at
that.
12.
He's 12,
At 12, I gotta like take the gloves off.
All right, so
All right.
So stay tuned for the next battle of the games. This was the first one. That was good. All right, we'll be right back. Thanks, guys. You want to promote your SoundCloud or whatever?
Yeah,
one more
just
time?
go to Bam Beatz SoundCloud, my
Bam
Twitter,
Beatz
Bam
with a Z.
with a Z. You can hit me up on Twitter as well. You can tell me how I'm right about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Or wrong.
If you're wrong, if you think I'm wrong, then don't tweet me because I'm just gonna block you.
Nano, your Twitter.
Twitter Nano551 on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I don't know how you want to communicate with me,
Right.
but
Right.
Nano551.
All right, so we'll be right back. And oh no, I'll be right back. Wow, we've been drinking. We're gonna wrap it up here. Gamer Tag Radio. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to Gamer Tag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.